Leading things off, our next guest is an award-winning writer and creator of the comic book, Is Nana, and Were Spider, the Were Spider. And some of the stuff is right here. And he joins us for a look at all of his wonderful work. We welcome Greg Anderson. We call him LSA, LSA Greg.
How you doing, man?
Greg, welcome. First time on the set?
Yeah, first time.
All right, way, it's the first for everything. And so what do we have here? You're putting together comic books.
Yeah, so I'm the writer and creator of Is Nana the Were Spider. It's based off of the stories of Anansi the Spider from West African and Caribbean folktales. My character is his son. It's essentially a father and son fantasy horror story of the two of them trying to stop these creatures from causing chaos, trying not to drive each other crazy at the same time, and implementing a lot of black mythology, folktales from Africa, Caribbean, and African American stories.
So you put a lot of tools together, good and bad, father and son.
Exactly,
things of that.
exactly, the whole
How'd you come up
duality
with the concept?
of it. Well, growing up, I was a huge Greek mythology fan. I still am a big Greek mythology fan. And as I got older, I started to get more interested in other mythologies out there, especially black mythology. And I noticed, even with some of my, a lot of black people, I would mention certain gods or even Anansi, and they would look at me like, who is that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but you know, Zeus and Hera and Thor. And so that was one of the things where education, it doesn't really teach you anything like that, you know, and you're required to learn Greek mythology. So pretty much the concept was, I feel like a lot of black mythology is dying, black stories and folktales. So that became the theme of this actual story. And my character is Nana, being Anansi, the god of stories' son. He is sort of like reclaiming, you know, our heritage of all our characters.
Did you ever read The Power of Myth?
No, I haven't.
You got to pick that up.
All right, I'll remember that.
It's amazing. You get into it and find out about a lot of different things.
Cool.
So you got that concept and you got into mythology, but black mythology, you don't hear too much about it.
Yeah, you don't. And it's, I feel like you either have to find an educator who goes out of their ways to introduce you to it, or if you have a parent who grew up on it, especially, I know a lot of Caribbean parents grew up on a lot of folktale stories, you know, and they would pass it on to their children. And so that was one of my things, of just trying to bring this back to life, you know, and not really spoon-feeding you all of it, but enough to keep your interest, enough for you to actually start doing your own research on, you know, a lot of these characters and stories.
So where do you want it to go?
Everywhere, you know. Right now, like, my main focus is just trying to get more of the books out, trying to get them into some schools, more libraries, and stuff like that, and we'll see where that takes me. Movie? Everyone has been asking me for a movie.
They asking you about it already?
People have been asking me for movies, cartoon shows, video games, so we'll see where that goes. Yeah.
But you know the steps necessary?
I know a lot of people, a lot of networks, so yeah.
All right, so we're happy to have you here first on Bronxnet to, you know, just let everybody know that this is coming.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
To look forward to seeing some of this, maybe in your comic book stores.
Yeah, there's a couple. Well, right now it's on Amazon, or if you can get my information all through our social media, you can also contact me personally. It's at some comic shops, one in a couple in Brooklyn, Bulletproof Comics, Anyone Comics, West Village Comics. So there's a couple of spots in New York City, some spots in Philadelphia, and different states. I'm still trying to get more and more.
Did you follow Mr. Lee?
Oh, Stan Lee?
Yeah, Stan Lee?
Yeah. I feel like everyone...
He passed away at age 95. It was last week, right?
Yeah, it was... I think it was, it was last week.
People were crying.
Last Monday.
We have a DJ that came up to the radio station. He put a display of all the characters and everything, brought the comic books out. I've been following him for a long time.
Yeah, I even think a lot of, pretty much everyone has been influenced him in some way. Yeah. You know, even if some people haven't officially read a lot of his older stuff, but everyone grew up liking at least one of his characters in some way. Yeah. So I think everyone was in some type of deep mourning.
When you do something like this, it lives on forever. You know, way past when we're gone, this will continue to go.
That becomes your legacy.
Yeah,
you know? Exactly.
This is part of your legacy. So are you working on a third one?
Well, Volume 2 literally just came out like a week or two ago.
Brand new baby.
But I'm already pushing to a one-shot. I'm doing a Kickstarter for a next part that comes out. It should be this week, hopefully, fingers crossed. You know.
Are they all connected in some way?
Yeah, so a lot of Volume 2 follows up directly from things that happen and set up in Volume 1. And given that essentially, in the first volume, is Nana, in order for him to look for his father who's gone missing, he goes from his own dimension to our world. And in doing that, he breaks these barriers. And it brings all these different creatures from different universes into our world that start causing chaos. So that's sort of all the different plot lines are sort of going to be connected to, I guess, the problems that is Nana caused, but him trying to right, his errors and everything like that, while also acting as a coming of age, because he's also, a youth trying to figure out himself while also having to live up to the fact that his father is a god.
Wow. Yeah. And to sit down and come up with all these pathways of thinking and, and to lay it all out like that, how does this identify with what's happening in our society today or in our world today?
Well, I mean, I feel...
Or in our country today?
We're getting to the point where a lot of, I'd say even a lot of black people are just becoming more conscious about things. They're starting to become a bit more aware of, stuff as how we're being treated in the media, how we're being treated in reality, and also discovering our heritage, discovering who we are, trying to find our place, I guess, at the seat of the table, as the saying goes, or also just making our own table, instead of trying to seek out and beg, to be treated and seen as a human being. A lot of us are just, screw it, we'll just do it on our own. And that's essentially what made me want to do this. There's a lot of people who say, oh, why isn't this being done? Why am I not seeing this type of representation? Just do it yourself. There's all the tools out there, and essentially that's essentially what I'm doing with the story too.
That's good. Give a big round of applause. PS 340. Go like this. You got a lot of children watching you too, so you want to get this into the schools?
Yeah. Definitely.
Have you been into any of the schools yet?
Yeah, I've been a couple of schools. Some have already ordered a couple of copies. And I've been seeing a lot of pictures, of kids reading the book and teachers, sharing it with them. So it's been...
You have a website showing some of that?
Right now, I currently just have a Facebook of that. Just type in the name is Nana the Werespider on Facebook. It'll pop up. Has all the updates, of everything that's going on with it.
Put those pictures on there with the kids reading the books and all that stuff. Yeah, that's touching. And kids love to read, and I think that'd be a wonderful way to go.
Thank you.
Well, good luck to you.
Thanks, man.
So we'll go to the Facebook page.
You can go to the Facebook page and just like it, or you can find me on Instagram, Greg Day, or Twitter. Yeah. I'm always trying to share updates on the book and so on.
And that's going to have also the information on your book signing?
Yeah.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be in Bulletproof Comics in Brooklyn. That's in Nostrand, around Flatbush by Brooklyn College.
There you go. You let people know.
So that will be December 7th.
Well, we're going to give you a copy of this so that you can blast it out all over the place.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. All right. Definitely, man.
December 6th, I'll be over at the Terrace on the Park. We have the Make the Grade Foundation Awards dinner. If you want to come. Just let Helen know.
That sounds cool. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot,
Where can we get in touch with you again? Facebook is?
Facebook, you can get Is Nana the Werespider. Through Twitter, Greg and Elysee. And on Instagram, Greg Day, D-A-E.
Elysee, Greg. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. All right. Creator Is Nana and the Werespider.
Is Nana the Werespider.
There you go. Thank you so much. We'll take a quick break right here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next. PS 340. Yeah.